Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wrestle Vault, where we go deep into the thrilling and hard-hitting world of professional wrestling. I'm your host, Salvador, and tonight I am absolutely furious. How could they do this? AJ Lee, the Black Widow herself, walks back into WWE after years of being gone. And in a shocking move nobody saw coming, she makes Becky Lynch, the man, the unstoppable force, tap out clean right in the center of the ring. And just like that, a new Women's Intercontinental Champion is born, in what has to be the most jaw-dropping, stomach-turning title change we've seen in a long time. This isn't just a match. This is a betrayal of everything we believed about the women's division. If you're a passionate fan like me, you're probably yelling at your screen right now. How did this happen? Why Becky? And what does this mean going forward? Stay with me, because we're going to break it all down. And by the time we're done, you'll be so worked up that you'll have to jump into that comment section and share this with every wrestling friend you have. Do not touch that remote. This is the story you need to hear. All right, folks, let's go back to the beginning, because while this didn't come from nowhere, it sure felt like a hard slap to the face of every Becky Lynch fan out there. Picture this. It's Monday Night Raw. The crowd is alive and buzzing with excitement for what was supposed to be a routine defense of the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch, holding that shining belt high, the one she fought tooth and nail to win in a tough tournament, walks down to the ring like the queen she truly is. Hello, viewers. If you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. The man has been on a roll, running through every opponent in her way, showing the world why she's one of the greatest to ever do it. But then, the lights go dark, the music starts playing, that haunting, unforgettable theme we haven't heard in years, and out walks AJ Lee. The arena goes absolutely wild, but not with pure joy. It's a mix of shock, amazement, and total confusion. AJ Lee, who stepped away nearly a decade ago, looking sharper and more fierce than ever in her classic black gear with the spiderweb design. She's not here to say hello. She's here to take over. Can you believe it? AJ Lee, the woman who turned the Divas era into something real and raw, comes back like a ghost rising from the past. But this isn't a warm and fuzzy comeback story. No, this is war. She grabs the mic, locks eyes with Becky, and drops the bomb. Becky, you've been sitting on that throne long enough. Tonight, I'm taking your crown and your title. The challenge is made, and before anyone can blink, the match is on. Triple H, watching from backstage, gives the green light on the spot, throwing gasoline on the fire. Why? Because WWE thrives on chaos. That's why. And chaos is exactly what we got. Now let's go through the match moment by moment, because this was no quick finish. This was a hard-hitting, beautifully brutal back and forth that had fans holding their breath. The bell rings and Becky comes out firing, her Irish spirit burning hot. She hits AJ with a series of forearm strikes, pushing her into the corner. The crowd chants, "Becky, Becky!" But AJ, oh man, she has that sly grin on her face. She slips under a clothesline attempt, fires back with a dropkick that sends Becky stumbling. From there, it becomes a lesson in wrestling skill. AJ traps her in arm bars, moves into headlocks, slowly wearing the man down. Becky fights back with her signature Becksploder suplex, throwing AJ down hard enough to rock the whole ring. But AJ kicks out at 2, and the frustration starts to show on Becky's face. In the middle of the match, things get personal. AJ starts getting into Becky's head, bringing up her past losses, her time dealing with injuries, even the stretch when she was away from wrestling. "You think you're the man. You're nothing but a stand-in," she shouts. Becky fires back with rage, landing a manhandle slam that almost ends everything. 1, 2, but AJ's foot lands on the rope. The referee stops the count and the entire arena jumps to its feet. This is where the real anger starts to kick in, folks. How is AJ, after all this time away, keeping up with Becky like this? Is it ring rust? Not a chance. AJ looks crisper than ever, like she never missed a single day. She turns a disarmor attempt around and locks in her own Black Widow submission hold. Becky twists and fights through the pain, but she manages to break free, or at least that's what we thought. The moment everything changed, AJ fakes a Shining Wizard, but instead drops low and locks in a modified figure 4 leg lock, bending Becky's knee in ways that are painful just to watch. Becky screams out and reaches for the ropes, but AJ rolls them both back to the middle of the ring. The referee checks on her and Becky shakes her head no. The crowd is torn, half of them cheering on the comeback, the other half standing in disbelief. The seconds feel like minutes, sweat dripping, and then it happens. Becky's hand hits the mat 3 times. Tap, tap, tap. The bell rings, and AJ Lee is your new Women's Intercontinental Champion.
The arena goes dead silent for one brief moment before bursting into a wave of boos and cheers all at once. Becky crawls out of the ring, holding her knee, looking beaten for the first time in what feels like forever. This is maddening. Becky Lynch, the woman who headlined WrestleMania, who defeated Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair on the same night, tapping out to AJ Lee? It feels completely wrong. And as for the crowning moment, AJ stands tall. The referee places the belt in her hands, and she lifts it high with that smug smile on her face. Confetti drops, but something about it feels off. This title change isn't just surprising, it's a punch to the gut of this entire era. Why bring a legend back just to knock down a current star? Is WWE trying to go back in time at the cost of today? I'm outraged, and honestly, you should be too. Tell me in the comments, was this the right call? Or is this a booking mess? But here's a twist that makes all of this even more interesting. What if this return wasn't random at all? Word going around is that AJ's comeback was quietly set up by her husband CM Punk, who has been shaking things up in WWE ever since he came back himself. Punk, with that anti-authority energy he carries everywhere, may have worked things behind the scenes to get AJ this title shot, maybe as a way to settle some old scores. Imagine Punk quietly telling Triple H, "Give her the match, it'll be gold." And it was gold, but at whose expense? This brings in a whole new layer of drama, turning the title change from a simple wrestling moment into a behind-the-scenes power move. Is the women's division now at playing field for personal grudges? That's the story everyone is buzzing about. It's not just about the tap, it's about who's pulling the strings. To really understand why this hit so hard, we need to look at the people involved. Starting with AJ Lee. This woman is a living legend, no question about it. She broke into the scene in 2010 and quickly stood out with her wild and creative style, combining high-flying moves, submission holds, and mic work sharp enough to leave a mark. Remember her battles with Paige, Caitlyn, and the Bella Twins? She held the Divas Championship for a record 295 days, making it clear she wasn't just a personality, she was a true force in that ring. But in 2015, she stepped away because of injuries and wanting to live a quieter life. She wrote books and spoke openly about mental health, becoming an icon far beyond wrestling. Her return now feels like watching Michael Jordan come back for one more championship run. But why this moment? Why go after Becky? Maybe it's unfinished business. AJ never had the chance to stand across the ring with the new generation, and Becky is the face of everything AJ helped build. Or maybe it's personal pride, seeing the women's division grow into something massive and wanting back in. On the other side, Becky Lynch, the man, from working small shows in Ireland with almost nothing to becoming WWE's biggest name. Her growth from the Last Kicker character to the man is the kind of stories are made of. Winning the Royal Rumble, headlining WrestleMania, Becky's accomplishments speak for themselves. She won the women's IC title in the very first tournament for that belt, going through stars like Io Sky and Asuka in grueling matches. Holding that title was her way of proving she was a champion who worked for every inch. But this loss, it's a crack in the wall. Tapping out isn't just being pinned, it's breaking down, giving in. Fans are heartbroken and angry. How does Becky come back from this? Will she call for a rematch? Or does this open the door to something darker? The hurt here is real. Becky deserved so much better than this. Now let's talk about what comes next. This title change turns the women's division upside down. AJ holding that belt brings fresh dream matchups to the table. AJ against Rhea Ripley, AJ against Bianca Belair, even a throwback showdown with Charlotte Flair for old time's sake. But it also means some current talent gets pushed to the side. What about Lyra Valkyria or Zoe Stark, who were both building real momentum? Do they get overlooked just for a nostalgia moment? And for Becky, this could be the spark that turns her into a darker, angrier version of herself. Picture a bitter, fired-up Becky tracking AJ down at every turn. The story possibilities are huge, but the frustration comes from how fast it all happened. No build, no setup, just shock, and the title is gone. Triple H's version of WWE has earned praise for big surprises, but this one feels rushed. Is it a bold creative move or a lazy shortcut? You tell me in the comments. Fan reactions? Oh, the internet is on fire right now. X is flooded with memes of Becky's stunned face, AJ's victorious pose, and every theory imaginable. Some fans are loving every second. AJ's back. Women's wrestling just got a whole lot more exciting. Others are completely furious. WWE just buried Becky. Hashtag justice for the man. Polls are showing a 60-40 divide, with longtime fans cheering the comeback and newer ones feeling like something was stolen from them. The live crowd? All over the place. Loud cheers when AJ walked out, loud boos when the tap happened. One fan sign summed it up perfectly. AJ stole the belt. To really honor AJ's story, let's go a little deeper. Born April Jeanette Mendez, AJ started training at 18 and debuted on the independent scene before landing in WWE. Her wild girl character was something totally new. She mixed emotional depth with unpredictable toughness. Her storyline involvement with Daniel Bryan proved she could do it all. She stepped away after a neck injury, but stayed close to the wrestling world through Punk. Her book, Crazy is My Superpower, where she opened up about living with bipolar disorder, touched and inspired countless people. Coming back now at 38, she's proving that age is just a number. But can she keep it going? Or is this a one-time thing? The interesting theory, maybe this is the beginning of a CM Punk and AJ Lee power couple story that takes over WWE entirely. Becky's road is just as powerful. Rebecca Quinn from the gyms of Dublin to the top of the entire wrestling world. Her early days in NXT with the steampunk characters slowly gave way to the tough, no-nonsense Irish fighter the world came to love. Her 2018 moment, where the crowd turned her heel turn into a rallying cry, gave birth to the man. Battling through injuries and stepping away from motherhood only made her story bigger. Losing the IC title this way, it's clearly a story device to set up her return to glory.